Dear guests, thank you so much for joining our webinar today. The webinar topic is IT security to enhance your company's IT infrastructure against cyber threats. Let me tell you a couple of words about the rules of our today webinar. As you might already have noticed, all your microphones are muted. In case if you have any questions, please feel free to write them in the Q&A section, and we will make short pauses during the webinar, and we will answer all your questions. In the middle of our webinar, we will launch a short poll, and I will ask you to provide your answers. Your input is very valuable for us. And generally speaking, our webinar will be divided into two parts. And in the second part, we will cover the the short technical demonstration. But now let's start with the introduction of our companies. And here I would like to give my words to our partner, Trudi. So Raymond, please, the floor is yours.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to express my gratitude for everyone's presence here. Thank you for everyone giving their time to attend our webinar. I'm Raymond from Trudi Solutions, a technology company, and we are co-hosting this webinar with Axidian, which is our partner in IT security. Our objective for this educational event is to understand how we can strengthen and enhance our organization against cyber threats. Okay, so thank you, Anna. And thank you, Accident, for making this happen. And without further ado, I will now pass the mic to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Raymond. And let me also introduce Axidian company. Axidian is IT security software vendor. We have wide presence across 25 countries, more than 25 countries. We have more than 50 customers we work with, and also we have more than 9 years presence on the IT security market. Apart from this, we have 4 products in our portfolio. The fourth product is currently under development, and all of them are of in-house development. Also, we have a wide presence across 3 different regions. We have our offices located in Europe, in the Middle East, and also in Singapore. All in all, there are more than 25 countries in our network where we operate through our local partners. And also it should be noted that we provide 24/7 customer support and quickly reacts to all customer tickets. Apart from this, we develop cutting-edge solutions for modern cybersecurity, and there are 3 main areas of our expertise. The first one is related to identity and access management, and here we provide secured access for employees to companies' IT resources, and also implement multi-factor authentication. Another area of our expertise is related to privileged access management. And here we have our product, Axidian Privilege, which is a software that controls, protects, and audits the activities of privileged users, administrators, contractors, and etc. And the third area of our expertise is related to public key infrastructure. And here we have our third product, which is basically a card management system. And it manages the complete life cycle of digital certificates, smart cards, and improves the overall PKI efficiency. Now let's move on back to the topic of our webinar, IT security to enhance your company's IT infrastructure against cyber threats. And first of all, let's take a look at some statistics of APAC cyber threats landscape. According to the statistics, APAC was one of the most attacked region in 2022. It accounted for 31% of attacks globally. Government agencies, industrial companies, IT companies, and financial institutions were the most frequent victims of cyber attacks. Also, it should be noted that the misuse of privileges is one of the most common causes of all data breaches. And since COVID-19 pandemic crisis, there was a 300% increase in cybercrimes. And privileged credential abuse involved in 74% of these data breaches. So that is why it is vitally important to pay more attention to your cybersecurity, especially right now. Also, some statistics from Forrester research. Forrester has estimated that 80% of security breaches involve privileged access abuse, and 66% of companies have been breached an average of 5 or more times. And the vast majority of such attacks are related to supply chain access. Probably every company work with some contractors, with some third-party vendors, use the services of some service providers, and all these external users are getting access to the internal systems of your company. And it is vitally important to make sure that the access of such users is very well monitored and very well protected. Otherwise, there is a high probability of being hacked. And let me give you a couple of not very good examples of companies who suffered from data breaches. One of the example is related to Siemens company, and the situation here was that the contractor planted logic bombs inside spreadsheets that he created for the company. And after a certain date, the so-called logic bombs triggered and crashed the files. And every time when the scripts crashed, Siemens called to this contractor, asked him to fix the problem for a certain fee, and the scheme repeated again. So this scheme lasted for 2 years until May 2016. And for that time, the contractor was already trusted. He already worked with Siemens for more than 8 years. Another case that I would like to give you as an example is related to Sync Health. Probably every one of you already heard about this data breach. It was one of the largest data breaches in Singapore, and it affected the personal particulars of over 1.5 million Sync Health patients that were stolen, and even the records of Prime Minister and several ministers were under attack. So after this data breach, one of the priorities specified by the government was to tighter the control and greater monitoring over privileged administrator accounts. Another case happened with Shionogi company. This is a daughter company of the US pharmaceutical enterprise. And the situation here was that the IT employee left a backdoor for remote access to critical systems. He remotely disrupted work of 88 servers, including email, BlackBerry server, server of orders, and etc. And the direct losses of the company was over 800,000 US dollars. And apart from this, the company stopped its work for 5 days. So privileged users can be of very different categories of employees. It can be your internal administrators, it can be some contractors, third-party vendors, servers, suppliers. In some cases, it even can be your marketing managers who has rights to for publications on your websites, and in case if they publish something bad, the reputation of the company may suffer. Generally speaking, all these employees can make sweeping and fundamental changes to your IT infrastructure and also affect your business in general. And in order to make sure that the access of such employees is well protected, there is a class of solutions which is called privileged access management. And here we have our product, which is called Axidian Privilege. This product controls and monitors the activities of privileged users, including their access to critical business systems and also the list of allowed activities. And there are a number of scenarios that can be addressed with the help of privileged access management solution. So first of all, with the help of Axidian privilege, it is possible to monitor and log activities of privileged users on protected servers and devices. The activity can be logged in a very different formats. It can be video records, text logs, file transfers, keystrokes, and you can create the storage archive. And in case if there are some incidents, for example, happened, you can use this archive in order to investigate these incidents. You can also set the parameters of privileged access. For example, you can assess the quality of your contractors' work. You can understand what exactly your contractors do within the system. Also, you can provide limited scheduled access, let's say from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. on work days. And you can also determine who gets privileged access, when, and to what resources. Apart from this, you can monitor operations in real time. And in case if there is something wrong going on in the session, you can simply block it. Apart from this, you can also keep privileged accounts under control. It means that your administrators doesn't know the passwords from their accounts. They cannot lose them. They cannot pass them to some third parties. All passwords are kept secret. And in case if, let's say, some administrator has decided to create the unregistered privileged account, this account will be subsequently taken under control and also monitor the way it is used. Apart from this, we can put another layer of control with the help of multi-factor authentication. So it means that the access will not be granted without passing through the successful authentication procedure. Also, it is possible to implement an additional approval of opening the sessions for critical resources or accounts. So, for example, if the user, let's say I'm Anna, I'm the user, and I'm trying to get access to some systems, to some resources, Raymond, as administrator, will receive notification about this event, and Raymond will be able either approve my access, either reject it. Generally speaking, there are a number of benefits of our Axidian privilege. So first of all, we have very flexible pricing and licensing policies, which makes our products accessible for any company and any type of enterprise. As far as I know, privileged access management solutions are considered currently as a luxury, but it's not so. Apart from this, we can also provide high-level customization and also develop specific functionality upon the customer request. For example, if the customer is looking for some specific functionality for some specific feature, we can add it into our roadmap. Also, it should be noted that we have very fast technical support that work 24/7 and quickly reacts to the customer tickets. Let me also tell you a couple of words about the licensing models that we currently have. We have two different options of them. The first one is based on the number of users and the number of resources to which these users can get access. And the second licensing model is based on the number of simultaneous connections or simultaneous sessions. So you as the customer may choose the licensing model, which is more cost effective for you. And in case if you need any assistance to make a choice, we will definitely help you. We work with different customers from across the world. We work with government agencies, international banks, oil and gas manufacturers, telecommunication companies. And let me give you a couple of examples of our use cases implemented. So the first case was done for the company, which is called Nitash. This is one of the biggest company in Turkey in terms of telecommunications and IT. And the situation here was that the customer wanted to prevent the misuse of privileged access by insiders. And in order to address their requirements, we have implemented the list of restricted and allowed SSH commands as required by their security policies. And also here we implemented the additional approval of privileged sessions so that administrators were able to approve users' access to some critical systems. Another use case was done for Neural Bank. This is one of the big banks in Turkey again. And the task here was to control and securely authenticate contractors in third-party web applications, and also to make the recordings of all privileged sessions. Specifically for this project, Axidian privilege was integrated with multiple in-house web applications developed by third parties in order to address the requirements of the bank. Another use case was done for one of the ministries of Latvia. Unfortunately, the name could not be disclosed due to the NDA signed. And the situation here was that the ministry didn't have any privileged access management solution in place. And this kind of situation was not really good, especially for the ministry, because it's a government agency and they deal with a lot of sensitive information. And yet the task of the ministry was to provide strict control over the activities of internal administrators and external contractors. The customer was also looking for privileged access management solution with the ability to work with multiple Active Directories, and they also wanted to secure storage archive for incidents investigation, which was one of the requirements. One more case was done for one investment fund of Singapore, and the situation here was quite different. The main reason why the investment fund was looking for privileged access management solution was the compliance with monetary authority regulations. This is a kind of central bank, and in accordance to this mass compliance, all financial institutions in Singapore must have privileged access management solution in place. So we could address the requirements of this customer very quickly because there was a deadline for the compliance, and we could complete all stages of the project, including some consultations, paperwork, proof of concept, system implementation, within around 7 days. Also, I would like to note that our Axidian privilege is present in the KuppingerCole report. KuppingerCole is one of the leading analytical agencies in Germany, and our product was reviewed as a well-designed and easy-to-deploy platform. So in case if you're interested in reading these reports, please feel free to request it. So there are a number of benefits of working with Axidian and with Trudi. So first of all, as I mentioned, we have 24/7 technical support, and we very quickly react to all customer tickets. Also, we provide customization of our products upon the requirements and the requests of our customers. We have very flexible licensing and pricing policies, which makes our solutions very cost-effective. We also can provide you with free product testings in case if you would like to play with the product to understand its capabilities. And we're ready to do presentations and technical demonstrations for your technical teams. Before I give my words to my colleague Pavel, I would like to launch a short poll. So, dear guests, please do not hesitate to provide your answers. It is very interesting to learn why do you consider PAM implementation, if you consider it, of course. I will share the results of this poll at the end of our webinar. Now I will give my words to Pavel. And Pavel, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Hannah. So let's see our solution of privileged access in some brief. Now I'll share my screen. So now you should see my screen, I suppose.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So as Anna said before, privileged access management solution main goal is to provide secured access from users to target system using privileged accounts. Privileged accounts storing in our solution, in our vault, in the secret. It's encrypted information, and session are automatically starting for users to provide access to target systems. Our solution is working on-prem. It doesn't require any internet access to work. And to deploy, we need some number of servers. So I briefly show main scheme of our solution, and also I show how our solution work with basic user scenarios. So yeah, I told that we need some number of servers. First server is a management server. It contains some number of components. For example, policies and permissions, which are used to define all access parameters, such as persons who are granted access to resources, privileged accounts, resources as target systems, and time frame and other restrictions for permissions. Event log is used to storing logs of solution. Any activity of PEM administrators and users are stored as events. Administrator console and user consoles are web applications that is used to work with our solution. So PEM administrators and PEM users, both of them will work with a web interface. And AAPM is additional model which is using to provide access to secrets which are stored in a vault to work from scripts, for example, or other accounts that are using without user access. So, for example, you need some script which should get access to PEM to get credentials of privileged account. And this AAPM model, application to application password management model, is providing that secrets for scenarios of scripts or other applications to work automatically. Database is actually a vault for credentials and events, and also text logs from users' sessions. We store and encrypt this data in SQL database. It's a third-party component to our solution. Currently, we support and can work with Microsoft SQL database or PostgreSQL database. Media storage is needed to store session logs. We can record sessions, videos, screenshots, and also we can intercept files which will be transferred to or from target system during PEM session. Media storage currently is a network shared folder to which we can access using Active Directory account. Access servers, RDP, access servers, SSH proxy access servers are used to start sessions to target systems. RDP proxy, which is deploying on Windows server, work on basis of Microsoft Remote Desktop Server with pre-installed our Axidian PEM components. And upon connection to the access server, a specialized PEM application is launched as a desktop shell And this application performs user access right checks and user authentication, and also video recording of sessions and its processing for saving to the archive of session to media storage. SSH proxy component works in the same way, but only with SSH sessions. Also, it can provide functionality for transferring files by SCP and SFTP protocol. All our components, management server, RDP proxy, and SSH proxy can work both on Windows or Linux environment. But if we speak about remote application sessions, which are needed, Microsoft Remote Desktop Services, then they will be needed to deploy it on Windows Server. So the whole scheme of work this, for our solution is looking like this. We can see that user connects directly only to PAM components. User will connect by web browser to management server, to user console, or to management console. And to get access to target system, user will connect to our proxy components, and session will start directly to target systems only from our proxy components. Direct access from users to target systems is not needed and can be prohibited. Okay, so now let's see how user console is looking. Now I changed tab to user console web page. Currently, I logged on here as James Miller, Active Directory user. I also need to mention that currently we can work only with Active Directory users, and also we support some Linux user catalogs such as FreeIPA and OpenLDAP user catalogs. And all users we provide access to target systems should be members of these catalogs. And in this demonstration, we work with Active Directory. So this web page of user console have the table of permissions. So we can see 4 permissions, host names of target systems, protocol connection type, address of target systems, and privileged account, which will be used for start the session to target system. So we can see that one CA-WinSRV target system will be accessed by RDP protocol. CA-Ubuntu, it's Linux server. We can access it using SSH protocol. And also there are 2 custom connections. They are application sessions, and pfSense is a web connection. We will connect to this application as a web session. And PGSQL is connection to database using a desktop database client. So these were our resources as a target systems. Also, here we can find tabs with accounts and applications. Accounts means privileged accounts that we can access and work as user. So for this privileged account, we can see available functions for changing passwords or viewing privileged credentials. So we have access to do these operations with this privileged account. It can be enabled or disabled while issuing permissions to this user. And applications, these are applications which we can use in scripts. So script can be enabled to get credentials of these applications and provide these credentials to routines of script. So if we need that script do some operations while accessing privileged account credentials, which are stored in PEM, then this application can be used. So this user can view credentials of this application and use it in the scripts. And let's see how sessions are working. So to connect, we will click buttons. There are buttons near each target system. And also we can find copy button near SSH target system. So if we click to connect, we will download RDP file, which will get us to RDP proxy component. And after authentication, we will see how session will start to target system. So we're connecting to our proxy component. Basically, first authentication factor is authentication in Active Directory, but I have configured transparent connection with Active Directory credentials using group policies of Active Directory. And we can use it to enable or disable transparent connection using users' Active Directory credentials. And after authentication, we can see a requirement of second authentication factor. Currently, it is TOTP code that we need to enter to pass second authentication factor. We support out of the box two ways of second authentication factor: TOTP and email. So yeah, let's enter this code. So we passed all authentications. Now we can see a legal notice window, which is enabled globally, but also it can be disabled. We can provide some information for user before he will start the session, and the user must agree before he will connect to any target system. So this window is needed to let user know and to agree that his session will be established using our solution. If user will not agree, then session will not start. So I will click to agree. And we're connecting to target system. We can see two RDP sessions. First RDP session is to our proxy component, and second session was started to target system from our proxy component. I will do some activity during the session. Hostname, who am I commands, just to make sure that we have connected to needed target system, ca-winSRV Windows server using local administrator account. Now let's see how we can monitor this session. I will go to Management Console webpage, its interface of PEM administrator. Yeah, we have active sessions here. All active sessions will be listed in this section. So currently we have just one session, and this is a brief information about the session. If we click it, we will see full details and can see how we can get logs of this session. If we need, we can manually abort the session or refresh session logs. So this is full details about the session. And to monitor session, we can use that sections. Video section will display streaming video of current session. All activity that we will do will be visible on the stream. There is a little delay because we are currently observing decoded video of the session. It's about 5-10 seconds. Text logs will let us know information about active Windows changes, about processes which were executed during the session. Command prompt, for example, was executed. And also we will intercept keyboard input from user. To get this text log information from target system, we will need PAM agent being installed on target system. But it is needed only for RDP sessions to Windows target systems. So if we don't need text logs in RDP sessions from Windows target systems, we may disable text log, we may not install PAM agent on target system, and session will be available with video and with screenshots also, but without text log. Screenshots just screenshots that are taken at specified time interval. Minimum time interval is 1 screenshot per 1 minute. It can be useful only for non-critical target systems, just to make sure that some activity is happening. And transfer to server files. If we will transfer files from user side to target system, they will appear in this section. And if we enable transferring of files in session policy, then files will be also stored in session storage, media storage. I will abort the session, and user will see a message if we abort the session manually. For a SSH session, we have some additional options. We can connect to SSH target systems 2 ways. We can also click to connect and use RDP file to RDP target to RDP proxy server, and it will start SSH client as remote application with which we will go to target system. But also we can use our SSH proxy component. It gives us possibility to work with SSH target systems using local SSH clients of user, which are running on user workstation. So if we click to copy, then if we work on Windows 10 or Windows 11 operating system, or if we work on Linux environment or in Mac OS, we can start just a terminal with a SSH command available. And also we can use this command to connect to target systems with our SSH proxy component. So any kind of SSH client can be used for connecting. As I said, for SSH sessions, we have additional options. We support list of forbidden commands, can transfer files with SCP or SFTP protocols, and also we have a PEMSU utility for elevating of privileges in SSH sessions. So I'll briefly connect to this target system just to show how it works, how this settings working. For all PAM session, we also can enable session confirmation by PAM administrator, and also we can enable reason to be filled in from user connection reason, I mean. So if we enable option of specifying connection reason, then user will need to specify something here. So for example, we can provide information about connection reason, something like system configuration. We will agree with legal notice. And yeah, now we can see that session is waiting for session confirmation. I will repeat that session confirmation can be enabled for any kind of sessions, not exact for SSH sessions. And to approve the session, PAM administrator will see a new action request in action requests page. New request, pending request is always highlighting. We can check it and click to confirm right here, or we can click the request and see full details. For example, connection reason will be visible here. After confirmation of session request, session will start. And now we can see that we have connected to remote Linux target system using a local command prompt of the user. As I said, for SSH connections, we support a list of forbidden commands. So I will enter some allowed commands. And I disabled reboot command. So if I try to reboot this remote target system, we will see that command execution will be interrupted. It will be interrupted with any keyword specified like this command. So I will open policy setting for this session. List of forbidden commands can be specified as regular expressions, and we can specify any expression as a forbidden or allowed for execution. For example, it can be only part of command, or it can be full command with some arguments. And also we will specify what to do with all other commands. They are also can be allowed or forbidden for execution. So using these policies, we can just enable some list of commands which user can use during the session, and all other commands will be forbidden for execution. And we also can choose which reaction forbidden command to specify. Default reaction is interruption of execution, and also we can automatically abort the session if user will try to use forbidden command. Of course, every time user will try to use forbidden command, corresponding event will happen, and it will be available for PAM auditors. And yeah, additional option is PAMSU utility. It will work the same way as sudo command. For example, if we use sudo, it will ask for a password of currently working user in this session, SSH session. As far as we connecting as a user with a privileged account management solution, this session is starting transparently and on behalf of privileged account, which is storing in PAM vault. And we don't have an idea about password of this account currently. So sudo cannot be using here, and PAMSU will be useful because it will work the same way, but it will ask for PAM authentication from user. So we don't need to know secret of privileged account credentials, but if we will authenticate in PAM, then command execution will be allowed, and we now can see result of execution of this command with elevated privileges. All text log of SSH session will be available without any agents. We can see that full input and output from SSH client of user is available as session text log. All sessions will be available after they are finished by users, and we can search for any keywords through all sessions with text logs available. For example, we want to find sessions with task manager keywords. So we can search for this keyword and we will find all RDP sessions. Yeah, task manager is a Windows application. So yeah, this will be mostly RDP sessions. And if we go to task manager, we can find when and in what time this keyword is happening during the session. Okay, I will finish the session and show last scenario, how we connecting to application sessions. So we will connect to web interface of pfSense target system. pfSense is a software-based firewall, and it has a web interface for controlling, like our solution. To connect to this application, we will run also RDP file, which will connect us to RDP proxy. And after passing authentications, our proxy component will start a remote application. In this case, it's a Google Chrome web browser. It is running as a remote application. And when going to the authentication form of this pfSense web application, our SSO component automatically recognizing authentication form and do all activity instead of user for transparent connection to this target system. Here we can work with the interface. We can configure starting of web application in kiosk mode, so interface of web browser will not be available, and all activity of user will be visible on session recording. So for this kind of session, we support only videos and screenshots. Text log will not be available. In the policies, we can configure which kind of recordings will be used for session. For one type of sessions, for example, we can enable only videos, or we can enable all kind of recordings, videos, text logs, screenshots, or transferred files. And of course, if a session is supporting such kind of logs, they will be recorded. So I think that all scenarios, I've shown all scenarios for you, and maybe you have some questions. I will be ready to answer.
Yes, Pavel, I see a number of questions in the chat. So the first one is the multi-factor capabilities included in Axidian privilege for the number licensed users or sessions, or does it require a separate product? Well, I think I can answer this question by myself. We have built in two-factor authentication in our Axidian privilege, so there is no need to purchase any additional products or any additional licenses. The next question is, what are the deployment options for the current software release of Axidian Privileged on Windows or also on Linux?
It can be deployed both on Windows and on Linux. In Linux, our components will work as Docker images.
Okay, Pavel, thank you. I see one more question. Axidian privilege includes the auto discovery feature to identify orphaned or uncontrolled privileged accounts already at the start of implementation project. Is it correct?
Yes, it's correct. We support this kind of target systems that we can control. They are Active Directory, Windows servers, Unix or Linux target systems which are connectable by SSH. Also, we can manage database management systems such as Microsoft SQL, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Oracle database, and also we support some network devices which run on Cisco IOS XE operating system and Inspur BMC IPMI models. All that systems we support currently for managing local accounts. So we can discover new accounts, we can check and change already managed local accounts by schedule or manually by PEM administrators.
Okay, Pavel, thank you so much. Till we're waiting for other questions, let me share the poll results. Just a second. Yep. Now on your screens, you should be able to see the poll results and the most popular answer to the question, why do you consider PEM implementation, was to improve IT security resilience. And the second popular answer was to achieve compliance with regulatory requirements. That's really great to see that the majority of you present here is considering implementation of privileged access management, and you're moving towards the direction of improving your IT security resilience. Yeah, that's really great, and thank you, dear guests, for providing your answers. Well, let me conclude this webinar then. I would like to note that that the recording will be sent after the webinar finishes. And Yeah, and in case if you're interested in more detailed technical demonstration, or maybe you would like to discuss your project requirements, please feel free to register for a call, and we will arrange the session specifically for you and for your needs. So yeah, colleagues, I think we can stop here. Dear guests, thank you so much for joining this webinar, for your attention and for your questions. And feel free to contact us and our partner Trudi in case you have any additional questions or you would like to get more details. Thank you so much for your attention. So the webinar is over.